I, a 25-year-old man, have always felt alienated when the topic comes up and I tell someone I don't have any social media accounts. Everyone my age has something, but there's me, this social hermit. Frankly, I chose this life to be alone and disconnected. This was my version of rebellion, but really I just boxed myself out from a lot of people. Friendships never fully matured because for some people you have to be on social media or it won't work for them. They can't be bothered to message you, but will like a picture. Personally, I just don't care. And ashamedly, part of me is just coping. Why install it? No one's going to talk to you. You're not important. Maybe I am just not important. I'm sure no one's thinking of me. So why make an account? I don't need it. However, I think I might get it soon. With my parents retiring soon, a friend moving, and myself relocating out of the country for work, now's probably the time to get social media out of necessity. My life is still fine with or without it. What do you all think? Edit. Okay, Reddit is social media. I still consider it an online forum, but whatever. The point is, do you have a social media account that's personal and associated with your real-life identity? Because generally speaking, Reddit users prefer anonymity. Story 1. I can tell you now that having social media is not going to make you feel more connected or like you have more friends. Most people I know have legacy accounts that they hardly post to anymore. Real-world friends and chat groups with friends who are not local is where it is at. But I am also 40 years old. Story 2. Never got the point, really. I have Reddit, which counts as social media, and YouTube, where you can socially exchange online as well. I don't need people to know about my life like on Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms. I also never like to pretend. I can share with family and friends when we meet in real life and actually have something to talk about. Story 3. Reddit is my only vice in this area. I do not enjoy the performative happiness of others. My ex was very into it, and she is the most miserable person I know. I do not think it is healthy for relationships because of unhealthy comparisons and because it can be an easy portal to an affair. I would rather experience the thing than take and share pictures of it. Story 4. I do not use traditional social media and still do not have a problem meeting people or having a social life. I just communicate via text, and honestly, I prefer it that way because it filters out many people who do not want to truly be friends. Story 5. I do not have a need to share my life with strangers. People who are important to me have my number, and for family and friends in different countries, there are many ways to video chat and catch up. If someone does not want to be your friend because you do not have social media, is that someone you even want as a friend to begin with? Story 6. I used to be on Facebook constantly. It was a major distraction for many things, and I found myself engaging in pointless comment wars with strangers that did nothing to solve anything. Eventually, the Facebook algorithms seemed to be constantly promoting rage-inducing articles, misinformation, and content design specifically to gain engagement from people like myself. Honestly, the 2024 election was the tipping point for me. The misinformation and hateful responses from people made me turn away from social media entirely. What's worse is that I could see it affecting my family as well. My dad is a supporter of the Reform Party and believes everything he reads on his laptop, especially if it aligns with his established political beliefs. It's really disturbing and upsetting to watch. Anyway, I have been off Facebook since January, and apart from Reddit conversations like this one, I don't really use social media. I never use Twitter, Instagram, or any of the other websites. Honestly, it feels freeing to be away from it. Story 7. Had it when I was a kid and hated it. Deleted everything a decade ago and have not looked back. Reddit is all I use. Story 8. You have to be on the platform or it will not work for them. Think about that for a moment. Social media is a product, and if you do not use it, you cannot have a connection with someone. There is something inherently wrong with that. Story 9. Man, I feel you. I'm 21 and I haven't had social media in nearly a year. I feel so alienated. I lost a lot of connections with friends because many friendships were based on sending memes. It's harder to date because with my generation, dating apps are just hookup apps, which I don't like. Everyone is too shy in person, so social media was a great way to talk to women, which is how I met both my exes. Now, I just have one friend and spend the rest of my time alone. I've been debating getting social media back as well, but honestly, it won't help. Embrace the loneliness, and you'll find people who share your beliefs. Story 10. I was an early adopter of most social media platforms. I was always in the top 8 friends on MySpace, where friends were originally organized by sign-up date. My Facebook account was so old that it required an educational email to sign up. I deleted all of my accounts on Inauguration Day. At first, I experienced fear of missing out, but now I am glad I am no longer on them. My mind feels clearer. Reddit is also declining, with automated moderators becoming uncontrollable. Story 11. Not going to lie, I dislike the fact that many people engage with social media but become unresponsive when you try to talk or message them. I have an account, but it is not very active. If you have hundreds of followers, I will look down on you. There is no way you know all those people. I am too old for this attention-seeking behavior. Story 12. I have a few social media accounts with no profile pictures or additional information. I only use them to keep up with some people in direct messages. This is because I used to live in another country, and the communication apps we used there are not commonly used where I live now. I basically have social media accounts but hardly use them and am not active at all. Generally, I try to spend as little time as possible using my phone, as I find it to be a waste of time. The only social media platform where I have a profile and a picture is LinkedIn, because in my industry, many jobs and recruiters use that platform. I do not want to miss out on opportunities. I got my current job through LinkedIn. Story 13. The idea of social media as it existed in the MySpace days is long gone. Even Mark Zuckerberg admits they are not a social media site and are now a content service. My wife still has Facebook, and as far as I can tell, it is just an advertising platform with a friends list. I personally left during the COVID-19 pandemic. I had no desire to see uninformed people pretending to be doctors and virologists. I knew the individuals I grew up around in small-town Texas were going to be wasted effort. I did not need a platform to see it happen in real time. Story 14. You do not have to be highly connected to benefit from social media as a man. Simply create a page with 6 to 9 posts and share it like a business card. Story 15. I got rid of Facebook in 2009 when I turned 21. I found myself wasting time scrolling and envying others who were more successful than me. It wasn't healthy. I never had Instagram, Snapchat, or Twitter. I never got into those platforms and feel no regret. I have a LinkedIn account to maintain a presence in the business world, but I have never posted or liked any content there. I find LinkedIn to be the most cringeworthy platform of them all. Story 16. For myself, I do not have anyone I can talk to. I only use my phone for my job, but I do not even have selfies or photos of myself. Actually, I have not shared any media of my life in more than 20 years. I do not receive any messages from anyone, either on my mobile phone or by letters. To be honest, it feels strange for me to interact with unknown people on the internet. Story 17. I am 36 years old and only had a Facebook account until last year. I finally gave in and got TikTok and Instagram but barely used them. Story 18. It has been over a decade since I deleted all social media. I briefly created an Instagram account for dating app purposes. Story 19. I do, but I do not use it at all. I do not think it has anything on it. If someone wants to know something about my life, they have to ask. Story 20. Also, I don't have anything and I like it that way. My wife and I often go on weekend getaways without remembering to take any pictures of ourselves. I like it that way, although most people think it is lame. Story 21. I have not used it for about 10 years. I cannot imagine what I would need it for. I have had 1 or 2 dating app dates complain because they could not research me beforehand, but that is not really my problem. Story 2238. No Facebook, no Instagram, no Twitter, only Reddit, and I like it this way. Why? Because I don't need to broadcast every part of my life. My business is my business. Period. If someone says it is a red flag for me not to have social media, that is not someone I want to be around anyway. Story 23. I had profiles in my early 20s, but I stopped using them and deactivated them. I just couldn't care less about other people's nonsense. The ones I care about, I meet them or talk on the phone daily. Most of my friends and family don't use social media either, except for the women among them, of course. They just can't help themselves. I think it makes them addicted, miserable, envious, and jealous. They are in a constant competition with each other. Sad to watch from the side. It's a race to the bottom. Social media is the worst thing that has happened to women since astrology. Story 24. A few years ago, when everyone in my school started using Instagram, I did it too. I still cringe thinking about the things I posted there. Anyway, I stopped using Instagram, removed any personal posts, changed my profile picture to a Kaneki image, don't ask why, and then deleted Instagram. I didn't completely delete my account because it has some memes and is part of my memories as well. So yeah, there's that. Story 25. I was constantly on Facebook from when we got decently fast internet in 2009 or so until COVID-19, when it all got a bit too stupid for my liking. Mainly, I used it just to stay in touch with my classmates because I lived far away by European standards and later to stay on top of my events. During COVID-19, I first stayed with my parents instead of in the city where I studied until the exams hit. I stayed in touch with my study group and distanced myself a bit from the rest. Also, my Instagram account started selling Korean handbags. Well, there were pictures of handbags and a lot of Korean text, that's what I know for sure, and I couldn't identify with that any longer. So now I don't have any accounts anymore, and I know that feeling of inadequacy. But everyone still uses WhatsApp around here, so anyone who wants to talk to me can do so for free with existing software and accounts, which is not really a problem for me. I miss Facebook for its kind of overview of the 700 to 1,000 people I knew and liked, to not lose track of people and remember their names. I also enjoyed that bit of voyeurism, if you want to call it that. I think I need an Instagram account again to stay on top of my events, now that I work and can't just go with the flow for days on end like I used to. I don't really want to have one though. Story 26. I only have Reddit. I deleted everything years ago with my wife. It was the best decision we have ever made in life. Story 27. I grew up as MySpace and Facebook became popular. After a few years of using them, I grew tired of knowing every single detail of everyone's life. I did not need to see posts about how someone just blew their nose. Also, seeing all of the propaganda pushed on those platforms was rather annoying. Story 28. I only have Reddit. I never had Twitter, never had TikTok or Snapchat. I deleted Instagram. Soon, if Reddit introduces artificial intelligence features or pushes them too much, I will delete this too. Story 29. I never got into social media that requires your real name, such as Facebook and Twitter. I know Reddit is technically considered social media, but I think of it more as a forum hub. Story 30. I only had Facebook for game-related collaborations, but never really used it for personal purposes. Eventually, I decided I didn't want it anymore. They didn't do many game collaborations, and I don't like Meta as a company, so I had the account deleted. Online anonymity is generally a good thing, though it can be misused. Considering the weaponization of cancel culture by a small minority, combined with corporate misuse and data harvesting, I prefer most of my posts and online interactions to remain anonymous. The only social media accounts I have are mostly for casual posting or general browsing. Story 31. Apart from Reddit, I only have an Instagram account with my name on it, but it is managed by my publisher's public relations team. It is strictly about my books and related activities, such as appearances at conventions, reprints, and interviews. Story 32. I used social media, starting with MySpace in 2005 and then Facebook in 2007. I stopped using MySpace in 2008 and Facebook in 2013 because I lost interest and disliked the direction social media was heading. I miss when the purpose of social media was to connect with strangers who had similar interests and make new friends. Eventually, most people made their accounts private so only friends and family could be their Facebook connections. This defeated the purpose. People used to be open, engaged, and genuine. They expressed who they were, their interests, hobbies, and musical tastes. It was a fun way to socialize with others, very different from the current mood. It is not as antisocial as many people are today, especially among Generation Z and Generation Alpha. It may worsen with Generation Beta. All the trolling, clout chasing, clickbait, rage bait, Savagery, misinformation, and other negative content have ruined much over time. The only app one use now is TikTok, just for watching live streams. I do not watch regular videos and never post. My favorites are autonomous sensory meridian response streamers. They ease my anxiety and insomnia. Story 33. I have a profile on LinkedIn but have never posted. I have used Reddit for 3 years. I have never used Facebook or Instagram but do follow X. I am simply not interested in the views, likes, or dislikes of the general population. Story 34. For several reasons. I am unattractive, and I know you do not have to post your picture and information, but regardless, I would not post myself. Even then, I am not someone who likes taking pictures. I am a private person, so I do not like giving away too much of my information. I am not interesting either, so it would be a waste. I prefer a simple, private, introverted life. Story 35. I do not and will never have one. I am a private person and do not want my images or personal activities online. I do not understand why some people want to post real-time updates. When family comes over for the holiday, I tell them that if a picture of me ends up on their social media page, they are not coming back. Story 36. I don't have TikTok for the same reason I installed an extension to block YouTube Shorts and disabled it on YouTube Revanced. It's brain rot, makes me waste too much time, and at the end of the day, I feel like I didn't really enjoy what I watched. I don't have Instagram because I don't know how to take pictures of myself. I'm pretty confident in my looks, but I have no idea how to take pictures or how to select one to use as my profile. My Facebook profile is the same from when I was about 12. I only use Facebook as a messaging platform, and I've mostly migrated to WhatsApp. Obviously, I use Reddit, but I like that I can keep my anonymity here. I value privacy, and while I don't mind people knowing what I do or what I like, I want to be the one to actively reveal that information, not for them to learn it on their own. Story 37. I've got a token social media presence. Originally, it was just a firewall against identity theft. After my divorce, my career took off and I began making a lot more money. I sometimes post now because I know my ex-wife still follows me. She rents a trailer she can barely afford, and I'm very sure she regrets divorcing me, at least because of the financial aspects. When she sees a picture of my vacation or my new car, I know she sees. Living well truly is the best revenge. However, I have drawn the line in the sand over new social networks. I haven't registered on any of the more recent ones because, to be honest, I'm fed up with social networks. Story 38. I do not use social media outside of Reddit except for messaging. Reddit is for posting humorous or off-topic comments. I have a social life, but only in real life. Story 39. I got off Facebook years ago. Why? Because I realized I could go from a great mood to a horrible one just by looking at my feed. So many happy couples doing happy couple things. Logically, I know we are only seeing the best of people's lives, but that does not stop my brain from trying to compare our lives. So I deleted my account. Best thing I have ever done. Story 40. I have a Facebook account that I almost never log on to, maybe twice a year, and I have not posted on it in years. I never created a Twitter account, Instagram, or TikTok. I do not want to post all my personal information online. I do not keep in touch with friends I never actually see by following their social media, and the experiences are just toxic. Story 41. Big sports fan, so that is really the only benefit I personally have with social media. I used to also use it for food recommendations, but it seems like all these foodie influencers are paid off nowadays and just recommend mediocre trendy restaurants that are willing to pay them for advertising. It has been years since the last time I shared anything, and I could care less what people are posting about. My friend group also has a group chat on Instagram, so sports and group chats are pretty much the only reasons why I have not deleted mine. Story 42. I hate social media. I have Instagram for group chats to send memes to my friends, but I don't post on it much. Story 43. Short answer. Nothing good comes of that. Long answer. You are being overwhelmed by a constant high-pressure stream of drama and self-promotion from people you do not really know, and exposed to low-information opinions and false facts from unreliable sources you would not trust to tell you what day of the week it is. Meanwhile, you are immersed in influence campaigns and propaganda from brands, foreign actors, and political movements, and that content affects you whether you believe it does or not. All social media does is rile you up and make you anxious and angry without any corresponding benefit. If you care enough about someone to want to connect with them, text them, call them, or go get coffee with them. Do anything but read their posts and assume you know what is going on in their lives. Story 44. Social media is about capturing your attention and pushing advertisements while doing so. It has nothing to do with connecting with people these days. A phone call, text messages, emails, or just visiting is much better than installing unwanted software. Story 45. I don't. Never have. I don't want to find anybody there and don't want anybody finding me. Oh wait, I have a completely blank anonymous Facebook account for occasions when something says visit our Facebook page for hours or events calendar. Story 46. I deactivated mine after my divorce because I felt immense pressure to show that I was happy, but I wasn't. It made me realize social media is just a mask, a fake persona to convince strangers of something. Clicked, and then I decided to get rid of them all. Now I only use Reddit where I post maps and art, and I am happy. I also feel less pressure on myself now. Social media is toxic and a waste of energy. Story 47. I have always taken breaks from social media, increasing more as I got older. I completely got rid of social media back in November and have not looked back. If anything, people share too much on social media because we have been conditioned to. And ashamedly, part of me is just coping. Why install it? No one is going to talk to you. You are not important. Maybe I am just not important. I am sure no one is thinking of me. So why make one? Installing social media is not going to necessarily make you feel any more connected than you actually want to be. I do not think you need social media to develop meaningful relationships with people. Lastly, you do not need social media to be or feel important. Story 48. If you do not have any social media, what do you call this place? I use Reddit and Discord for social media. Both of them are tools for me to find community, whether it is my whiskey meetup group, happy hour meetups, cycling friends, foodie friends, or others. If you use social media as a tool to build community, it can be great. You get out of it what you put in. The issues you describe will not be resolved by social media, but if used effectively, it could be a tool to help resolve them. Story 49. I avoided social media for a very long time, but ultimately, if you live in a city and do not have Instagram, it is exceedingly difficult to know what is going on. Even my favorite bars and restaurants share their information on Instagram and nowhere else. My favorite concert clubs do not put up posters anymore. They post upcoming events on social media. My cousin probably is not going to send me a picture of her new baby out of the blue, but she posts the new baby on Instagram. Does it suck? Yes, it kind of does. However, knowing when you are fighting a losing battle or knowing when you are not even fighting a battle at all and are just being an obtuse neo-Luddite is a good thing. Story 50. I have WhatsApp and Reddit if they count as social media. I do not have any other platforms simply because I do not really care what others are up to. Story 51. I don't. In my 40s, I hated the way LiveJournal and MySpace made me feel, so I quit social media around 2005. No Facebook, Instagram, Google+, Snapchat, Twitter, Blue Sky, WhatsApp, TikTok, or similar platforms. Maybe I have missed out on some things because of it, but I know I would be miserable with 20 years of social media drama constantly in my life. Story 52. I've always had Facebook and used to share pictures of days out and the kids. It was good for older family members to see how they were getting on. Now I don't post at all. I use it for hobby groups and for the marketplace, which is a free selling page. I've never used Twitter or TikTok. Story 53. Reddit is the closest thing I have to social media, and even this is too much at times. I used to have Facebook and Instagram, but they were a complete waste of time. Keeping up with people I used to know and portraying the best parts of my life. I barely even text people, but definitely have a full life still. Story 54. Facebook account. Legacy. I just use it as a login for random things I will likely never return to. I also purged its connections, so it is a blank account with what I assume is a wild algorithm. I occasionally check out marketplace links people send me from a local Discord group. Instagram. I only joined so I could participate in the group chat for planning holidays and days out. It is more like a scrapbook. The main discussion is on WhatsApp. Discord and Reddit serve the same purpose, primarily getting Dungeons and Dragons information and memes. LinkedIn. I dislike that social media style it has, but it contains job-related content, so I need it. Generally speaking, my posting is almost zero. I am mostly a lurker. Story 55. I have not had a real social media account since Facebook. I only created a Facebook account because my high school girlfriend really wanted me to, just so she could set her relationship status. Story 56. Reddit is my last social media account. I deleted my Twitter account before it became X. I still have a Facebook account but have not used it in a year or two. I was never really interested in any other sites. Why? Life is better without it. Story 57. I stopped using social media in 2018. By the end of last year, I felt like my hands were tied because you really cannot reach out or nurture relationships without it. However, now that people try to contact me, I still do not respond because I am not active on those platforms. Nothing has really changed, but they now understand that I am just not on social media. They call or message me to look at whatever they sent, and I respond in real time. But I am just not into it. I do not even have the apps installed. If I ever have to go online, I simply log in using a web browser. I also do not like feeling constantly available to people. It feels unnatural. I use my cell phone more like a landline and mainly use my laptop and television. If I had the space, I would get a desktop computer. I feel like technology is a beautiful tool that many people use as a crutch. Story 58. I only had one while I was dating, so women thought I was normal. Once I met my wife, I deleted all social media except Reddit and Discord, so I have not been on social platforms in over a decade. Story 59. I have a Reddit account and a YouTube account, but no Facebook, no Instagram, no TikTok, no X, no LinkedIn, and no Snapchat. I find them all to be odious. They are divisive and make me feel bad. I used to have Facebook, Instagram, and X, but no more. Nothing related to Zuckerberg. I think they are dangerous and harmful, especially to young people. As a teacher, my decision is easier. I never want to run into my students at Starbucks or have them looking at my profile and posts. No thank you. Story 60. Social media is not necessary to have a social life. I left Facebook in 2018, and it was the best decision I ever made for my mental health. I still use Instagram, but my account is private and I never post. Mostly, I use it to keep tabs on old friends from high school and college. I use Discord not so much as social media, but more as a way to coordinate plans for my actual in-person socializing. Social media will never match the spiritual fulfillment of spending time with friends, participating in a hobby community, or attending public events. Treat social media as a tool to help you do those things, rather than a social activity in itself. Story 61. I have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram but hardly ever use them to interact with anyone. I stopped paying attention to Facebook years ago. It is just endless pictures of family outings. I used Twitter a bit and then forgot about it. There is too much negativity. I could get rid of it, but I do not have a strong desire to. I use Instagram to post a picture every once in a while that strikes me. I do not put captions or really comment on anything. I am just using it as a photo album of unique moments in time. I communicate with family and friends mostly via text. That works just as well as any social media app. Story 62. I do not need to advertise my life so that a billionaire can make money from me. I reject that entirely. Story 63. I had a Facebook page for about 10 minutes in the past. I looked up all of my old friends and girlfriends, then got bored with it and deleted the profile. Now, I only use LinkedIn and Reddit, which are more about commenting than sharing personal information. Story 64. I turned them off except for Reddit, and I probably should give that up too. We are not designed to process the amount of information that bombards us, so it can be overstimulating. It enforces all sorts of bad behaviors, especially with kids. There is too much nonsense and too many people just wanting your money. I am happy with my decision to turn them off. Story 65. I used social media until 3 years ago. It is bad for one's mental health. Social media amplifies the worst in people. Reddit is no better, to be fair. Story 66. I just haven't seen the need for it. All the people from high school, college, and old jobs that I want to talk to, I have their phone numbers and already talked to them. I don't really care what Emily from my 10th grade math class is doing these days, and I'm not interested in telling everyone what I'm doing either. It just seems like a lot of work, to be honest. Story 67. I am a 30-year-old. I do not use any social media connected to my real-life name. When someone asks for my contact information, I give them my phone number. I do not make it weird, and no one has questioned me about it. I am quite an eccentric person, so I never receive negative comments about being absent from social media. Why? If we all follow the leader blindly, where are we going? Make decisions based on personal conclusions, not to fit in. If anything, I criticize others for being Instagram famous or for making a big deal about it. People who blindly follow are like sheep. Story 68. I have Facebook, but I stopped posting on it in 2019 and barely check it anymore. If it were not for Messenger, I probably would have completely deactivated it. I used to have Twitter but could not stay interested in it. I have never had Instagram. I had Snapchat for 3 days but lost interest very quickly. I refuse to get an account on TikTok. I have LinkedIn but rarely use it unless I am actively job searching. Story 69. I have a Facebook account that I haven't used for well over 10 years and an Instagram account for at least that long. I'm not the type of person to post everything or anything. I'm not seeking your likes. I do comment on Reddit, obviously. Story 70. After my last girlfriend and I split, I deleted everything. It is all brain rot for me and I struggle to stop myself from doom scrolling, so it is better for me not to have them. I still have an Instagram account to check in with people occasionally, but I make myself use a browser instead of the app. Reddit and YouTube are the only platforms I check now, and I have blockers in place to remove shorts from YouTube. Story 71. Only on Reddit. I deleted everything else because it takes away from the rawness of life. You are only seeing highlights of people's lives and not the full picture. You also constantly compare yourself to the false standard of how you should live based on the perception that that is how everyone else does. Social media does not reflect the real world. Besides, it is easier for people to keep tabs on you. Not today, Satan. Story 72. Age 67 here. No Facebook, Twitter, or any others except for Reddit and LinkedIn. Since I retired years ago, I have done nothing with LinkedIn. If family really need me to know something, they can email, call, or text me. My wife is on Facebook, so she periodically passes along information to me. Why? I am a very private person. I don't have friends. I don't feel the need to share personal details about my life with people around me. If I have information to share, I will do it directly. That being said, I do comment on Reddit periodically since I can do so anonymously. Story 73. I am 30. The only social media I use outside of Reddit is Discord. I have a Facebook account, but I use Messenger more than anything. I deactivated my Snapchat and Twitter accounts a couple of years ago. Outside of these, even my Facebook has a fake name. Story 74. I had Facebook when it first started. Then it began showing advertising, which rubbed me the wrong way. I noticed people seemed to use Facebook to brag and seek affirmation from others. I thought about it for a few weeks and ultimately decided to avoid social media and deleted Facebook. I do feel like I have missed out on an easy way to keep in touch with friends and relatives. I often hear about things secondhand. But I am glad I am not addicted to social media or overly concerned with what others think or with social trends. I do use Reddit, mainly for advice and tips on home and auto repair and typical hobbies like guitars, motorcycles, classic cars, whiskey, beer, guard dogs, weightlifting, and similar interests. Story 75. I do not and never have. I have a LinkedIn account. That is about it. I never saw the point. I do not require outside validation. I am just a person. Advertising my life makes no sense. For a public figure, sure, but that is not me. The whole thing seems like a huge ego trip. I am not interested. Story 76. I don't really have any social media. I had some but got tired of the censorship and double standards. I made a rude comment about how begging people for money online is trashy, and my comment was taken down. However, someone threatens to harm a person and that is allowed? Please be serious. Story 77, yes, but I do not do much with it. I have a Facebook account and about once every other month, I post a picture of something, usually my children cooking. That is about it. Story 78. I deleted my Instagram a few years ago. I still hang out with friends on the weekends. My life has improved for the better. When I meet up with people, we have things to catch up on. Story 79. I do not. No need. No time. No interest in it. I am only on Reddit for informational purposes and as a way to compare my thoughts and opinions with others. Story 80. Outside of setting up a throwaway Facebook account just to earn extra credit in a computer class and then deleting it immediately after, I have never had any social media accounts. No Facebook, no Instagram, no Twitter, no Vine, no TikTok, absolutely nothing. I was a young teenager when Facebook came out, but even I was smart enough to see how terrible an idea it was to put my private life on the public internet. And it is much dumber of an idea these days. Story 81. I felt like I was giving people who do not know me insights into my life that they do not need or should not have. I can share things with the people I want in person or through my phone. I finally realized a social media platform is not necessary. Story 82. Isn't Reddit a social media platform? So if anyone responds, wouldn't they have a personal social media account? Story 83. Does Reddit count? I don't have Facebook or Twitter. I do have an Instagram account, but it is not for me. It is just for my dog. It is set to private, and I use it as an online photo gallery to save pictures and videos. Story 84. Aside from Reddit and YouTube, I do not have any social media accounts. I closed my Facebook account in 2012 and never had a Twitter or Instagram account. I think social media is harmful to mental health and society in general. In my opinion, social media in its current form will be harshly judged by history. Story 85. The only social media accounts I have are Reddit and YouTube, though I only use YouTube for watching and not interacting. My Instagram is empty because I had to sign up for it to view pictures, but I follow nobody, do not comment, or post. The other day, I tried scrolling through the suggestions, and it was worse than imagined, just empty, vapid posts. TikTok is a security nightmare, and Facebook is invasive and empty. What it recommends is connecting with people from 15 years ago in a city I no longer live in. My conclusion is that social media is antisocial and a time suck that provides less than zero benefit. We become dumber for it. At least with Reddit, I get history, discussion, learning, and, of course, adult-centric video. Story 86. I only use Reddit and LinkedIn. I tried Facebook again last year, but it was just a cesspool, so I deleted it. Story 87. Asking this question on Reddit, a social media platform, means that anyone who answers it does have a social media account. Story 88. Not to be rude, but this sounds like, I am not like other girls. Having a social media account does not mean you socialize. Conversely, not having one does not make you a hermit. Socializing means interacting with real people, not messaging strangers or posting content for likes from people who do not know or care about you. My Instagram is mostly buildings, plants, and cats. I use it occasionally to coordinate my social events and to socialize with people I see at my water polo games, gym, friends I met while traveling, or work events. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.